Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. The African Free Trade Zone was launched on the first day of the year 2021, and this year is expected to bring about better trade opportunities for the African continent. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host this morning Mr. Abdalla Kagaml, African Youth Ambassador. Good morning, Mr. Kagaml.
Good morning.
Well, what is the importance of, in your opinion, of launching the Free Trade Zone in the first day of the new year as one of the goals of the year 2063 African Agenda?
Happy 2021
to all
new year to all humanity. May this year be the end of this current situation of COVID-19, and may it bring more light and prosperity to Africa. I think this is a newborn, I will say, to Africa, to have this agenda or African free trade fair in Africa in the first day of the year under this current situation of COVID. I think Africa show to the world that Africa, with the current situation of the pandemic, Africa are not sleeping and are trying to show the world that they still has that intention to develop and to become, yes, and to reach their prosperity. I think African free trade issue is the main agenda of African long-term planning to 63 agenda. And I think this shows that African Union are working. Our governments or African presidents are working together. To show
there's a coordination.
Yeah, there is coordination in the African Union, and this shows that our presidents are not sleeping. They are working day and night to see the citizens, yes, feeling good, especially the youth. I think this situation will help us. We, the youth, will help us more because we are on the way going, yes, to have more job opportunity, to have and to be free in movements in African countries. And I think this thing just start now, but it will develop after some years, because we have some issues in Africa that we must look at it. I think like security issue, like this customs, all these issues. And I think this is the African Union. We have some agreements that they did in all these issues that will be coming one after the other to reach this blessed goal of African Union. I think Africa will benefit from it.
Yes,
really.
Yes. What are the main plan to provide an integrated and prosperous life that is going to result from the African Free Trade Zone?
Yeah, I think the African Union they emphasize on job opportunities to youth, because you see now in Africa many youths are graduating from university each year, thousands, or I would say millions of new graduates, but we don't have job opportunities in African countries. And the youth, I think these things are the main issue or the main problems that make youth to be in some groups, bad groups, or all these issues. I think the youth will finish university and wants to have a good life, but yes, no job opportunity. And I think this way, or this good idea of African Union, I think our leaders want to bring job opportunity to all youths in different countries, firstly. And secondly, I think this thing will make Africa to be only one village or one community. I think Africa, we have many what they call cultures. We have different issues, and in Africa, if you see, we have languages, many languages. Yes. And I think with this free trade, what you call it, movement, yes, I think Africans youth will feel free to move from one country to another, and this will reduce conflict.
Yes.
Yeah, all these borders conflicts that we have, this what they call it in many countries, the misunderstanding of culture, the misunderstanding of, I think if you said business, then business is the things that brings more or give people to be under one umbrella. If you are talking about business, that means everyone will come. And this one will reduce the conflict and will bring job opportunity to youth and will make Africa to develop. I think if we try to manage it in a good manner, in a good way, I think this thing will be the newborn to Africa, and Africa will reach prosperity under this umbrella.
So what are the kind of challenges that are expected to face the Africans in 2021?
I think this pandemic issue, COVID-19, I think this, but our leaders too, they tried, I think they have fundraising in the African Union. They have fundraising for this COVID-19, and each country, like Egypt here, I think the schools are closed. In Nigeria too. In many African countries, I think our leaders, our great leaders, try to close the schools for them to reduce the spreading of COVID-19. And the government offices, they try to reduce the number of the people in it and the time of work. I think all these issues of COVID-19 that 2021 will reduce, I think, the spreading of COVID-19. I think they postponed even the football, the African football, what do you call it, football of nation.
Cup of Nation.
They want to hold it in Cameroon. I think from June to July. They postponed it to 9th January to 6th February this year. But they
as precautionary measures
to 2022 because of this COVID-19. I think all this show us that African Union are working together to reduce the spreading of COVID-19 and to make African people feel safe under this current, what they call a situation that we are facing in the world.
Actually, you were just mentioning Egypt concerning facing the pandemic coronavirus. Actually, since the year 2020, the World Health Organization praised the way Egypt faced the pandemic. So how do you see the role of Egypt, the role that Egypt have played since last year in helping African countries to face the coronavirus?
I think Egypt, even if you ask any person that passing through the road will know that Egypt play a big role in African countries and even Arab countries and even the world. I think Egypt send some medical assistance to African countries, and I think even to China. I think the Egyptian send some assistance of medical assistance for them to reduce or to show good relations with and friendship to these countries and to reduce the COVID-19. I think if we are living in Egypt, I see we saw all what Egyptian did. I think the Egyptian governments are working day and night for them to spread awareness. I think this COVID-19 we have, even if you reduce the population, or I mean the working hours, if people they don't have the awareness to tackle this issue, I think the pandemic will continue spreading. But Egypt try in the television programs, in newspapers, in magazines, even in social media. I think Egyptian governments try to spread awareness for their people and for the world, to show them that this issue is just a passing issue that will take some time and move. But we need to, like this, what do you call it, washing hands, all this sanitizing the place, all this issue, the mask, all this, and I think, and I think even Egypt, we have some penalties that you will pay some money that you will pay if you don't.
You're not wearing a mask.
If you don't. I think all these issues show us that the country are trying to help. They help their citizens, and at the same time they help their friends in African countries and in this. And if you see African Union too, I think last year the President Abdel Fattah Sisi, he's the chairperson of
African Union.
Yeah, and this year I think is South African president. And just coming days in February, I think the Democratic Republic of Congo, he will be the chairperson.
And when President Abdel Fattah Sisi was the head of the African Union, he had a very famous statement, and he said that the future of trade in the world is inside Africa.
I think this is inside amongst amongst the agenda of President Abdel Fattah Sisi when last year when he was the
president of the African Union,
and he emphasized on it. If you see, Egypt held in 2018 the first trade in Sharm el-Sheikh, the first trade in what do you call it, conference, and 2019 they started in Sharm el-Sheikh and they concluded here in Cairo the issue of free trade. If you see, in these 2 years from 2018 to date, I think the President Abdel Fattah Sisi do many to see that this issue was fulfilled, what they call it, completely. And I think Africa, with our presidents, with our youths, with all African citizens, I think Africa will proceed.
And actually, Mr. Kagaml, when President Abdel Fattah Sisi was the chairperson of the African Union, Egypt hosted maybe around 10 African conferences. How do you see the importance of this?
Yeah, really the importance of conference brings the government,
a large number of conferences, around 10 conferences or something.
Large number of people, firstly, and the professionals. I think conference, and Egypt is among the main countries in Africa and even Arab countries that held what they call it, conferences. And this, because in each conferences, I think we'll have about 10, 20 or 50 people, 2 to 3 days, the professional people will be talking on the issue, and we have some papers that will be submitted, and we have some professionals that will sit down and discuss. They sat down and discussed the issue. I think this thing, I think I'm calling the African countries to do the same, to try to inherit this thing from Egypt, because the conferences bring large number of people. It brings the professionals together, and it makes people to understand each other. I think many of our leaders in Nigeria, the vice president, last 2 years, he attended the free trade something. Many what the youth minister, many people of Nigeria are coming here, and we are meeting with our people because of these conferences. That means that we, the youth, African youth in Egypt, with the conferences that are held in Egypt, and the government, one of the good things is the Egyptian government used to take us along. When there is any conferences, they used to call us to attend the conferences, to meet with our leaders, to share to our leaders, to listen to our problems. I think Egypt is a good place, and is a good what do you call it, condition place for Africans to meet together, for Africans to show, especially the youth, the African or the World Youth Forum also show us that all African or all what do you call it, the youth of the world come together and share many issues and share many ideas, and I think this will make the youth and African people to succeed and to reach the prosperity.
Yes. Mr. Kagaml, to what extent does the free trade zone would pave way for more investment opportunities within African countries?
If you see the things, the problems we are facing in Africa, firstly we have the custom payments, or the issues of customs and the goods that African countries used to produce. I think this free trade, if we see the name free trade, show us that we have a free movement. It will show us the free movement in the country or in the continent Africa, firstly, and secondly, I think they will reduce the customs, the money that are paying. I think even if you are a new entrepreneurship or these young youths that has the idea of business, I think they will start applying these ideas, because we have many youths that has idea, but they don't have that money to start the business. But if we have this, if they reduce the customs, they leave this visa problem, this free trade movement, I think the youth, I will move from Egypt to, for example, Sudan, Chad, Nigeria. I will take my, what we call it, my, even if it is a little goods, and I will be moving towards Africa or within Africa to sell and buy. And I think this will make more business, and a new, what we call it, business will start, what we call it, moving. I think even if you see the cultural things, I think if we, now here in Egypt, we have many cultural ancient issues. But in Nigeria, they need it, they don't have it. But if we have this trade movement, I think a person will have this free movement, will even, I think, will bring more this tourism issue, will make things to be more flexible. More flexible movements, more flexible things, and conflict will be reduced, because people will understand each other. I will understand another country's culture, and I will know their language, and this will bring friendship within the people in their countries.
Yes. Mr. Kagaml, why in the past we used to hear about the African Free Trade Zone, and it was never, there were always obstacles, and now we feel more optimistic, and we feel serious steps. That, of course, goes back, as you've just mentioned, to the cooperation between, for example, Egypt, headed by President Abdalla, and other leaders in the African countries. So how do you read the scene now?
If you see the African Union, since the establishment of African Union in 2000 to 2002, I think African Union faced many problems. I think if you see from 2002 to 2000 to now, you will see that Africans moved through many problems. We have all this, what do you call it, each country faces. I think in Nigeria, we have in Rwanda, in Sudan, Darfur issue. I think many people, many African leaders faces their own problems, conflict within their countries. But I think now, last 2 to 3 years, I think the leaders come together, and African Union become more, what do you call it, concern, more strong, and concerns and show concerns to Africans. And I think this show us that African head of states now they are flexible, and they face African problems. For example, if we see Egypt, President Abdel Fattah Sisi, Egypt faces many things, but he faced the Egyptian. He tried to consume his own problem and show and give. And I think these things show us that we, the youth, we learn from this, from our leaders, many things, that even if you have internally problem, that doesn't mean that you will not give. Even if you have your own problem, if you have the aspect, or you have the means to help, you can help. For example, if you see President Abdel Fattah Sisi, he tried to tackle many problems inside Egypt, and 2019, at that time, he gave many to African countries. I think the ideas, I think the good ideas, the positive ideas, this free trade something, and I think what they did in 2 to 3 years, this is the beginning of the what do you call it, of the good ideas that they gave in 2 to 3 years. We start seeing it, and the coming years will be more better. More better, and more Africa will develop.
Mr. Kagaml, how would making use of the human resources and also the natural resources in Africa would help in implementing the African Free Trade Zone? Let's start with the human resources and the natural resources after this.
I think in the agreements of the African Union on the free trade, yes. I think they emphasize on youth firstly. Secondly, they emphasize again on the human resources, the training issues. I think if we see Egypt is among the countries. I think even yesterday or or today, I think in some days back, President Abdel Fattah Sisi showed the importance of training for the information technology and the workers in Egypt, for them to be trained. And I think Egypt is among the African countries that always they are in progress in training the workers, in the what they call it, training the youth and the African youth, the world youth. I think Egypt is a good place to have this, and all African countries now they start realizing the importance of training. If you see now in this pandemic issue, I think now African countries started online, what they call it, learning. I think e-learning, electronic learning. I think all this issue, even under the pandemic, people start to be cooperating and showing up to bring changes, and to move the way the worlds are moving. I think this will show more awareness and will teach people and will bring cooperation between the people. And if we see the natural resources in Africa, we have, I think, Africa, like they are saying, Africa even didn't use its natural resources. We have many. The things that was used in Africa is just little.
Yes.
We still have many to do, what we call it, to benefit from our natural resources. And I think like this idea of free trade, will bring people together, will bring the cooperation together, and will show people to use their natural resources by implementing human resources to use their natural resources in a positive way.
Yes, I thank you very much for your valuable information and for joining us today, Mr. Abdalla Kagaml, African Youth Ambassador. Thank you very much. I really had the pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, my dear viewers, now I leave you with Shireen Adel.